Hey guys, it's Jason here and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today guys, we are unboxing my son's new, Christmas present, CR12. It's from Team Associated. It's a 1/12 scale trail / crawler truck. I mainly bought it so that he would have something and myself too as well, kind of to drive in the house. I know a few of you guys, because I know some people have commented on my tracks videos. So this originally was going to be my son's Christmas present. Probably should talk a little bit quieter since he's upstairs. And what happened was I bought it. I did the ESC and the servo upgrade. But honestly, guys, I got so excited to drive it. So excited to let him drive it. You know, super excited to get out with the 6x6 and run these things together that I was like, man, I can't wait till Christmas to run this truck. So what happened was I thought, you know what, I'm going to look and see if I can find something else. Obviously nowhere near as much money as this thing, but yet still fun, and something that'll be fun when he opens it Christmas morning. So that is why I've gone with the CR12. All right, guys, so like I mentioned, it's a 1/12 scale. So obviously it's going to be smaller than the 110, so it'll be smaller than the tracks, a lot smaller than the 6x6. But what made me get this over some of the other trucks in the smaller scale, like the 1/28 scale, like the SEX28, I think it's called, from Axial, and a few other trucks I'd seen, was this still has, you know, a bigger servo in it. It has a 380 size motor in it. It's actually got oil dampened shocks, so there's oil in them as well. And I think they're threaded and adjustable. Oh, they are. Plus, I've actually already bought, they're on order to me now, a full aluminum upgrade shock kit for it from Associated, so they're going to be a good quality shock. It's got headlights out of the box. It's ready to run with a battery and a charger out of the box. And I got this for $250 Canadian. It was 30 bucks off, so it was a little bit of a deal. Not anything, you know, amazing, but still. I thought it looked really, really cool from the pictures and the videos I've watched, and it kind of enticed me to think, you know, hey, I want to get this. So yeah, I know a few of you guys are going to laugh because a few of you kind of made fun of me and saying that, oh, I was gonna, you know, yeah, sure, the tracks was for my son, sort of thing. And it is still, guys. It's gonna be his truck. I'm gonna drive the 6x6. I just, like I said, I wanted to get it out there and run it, and I just didn't want to wait till Christmas. So like I said, this was a little, you know, because it was quite a bit cheaper, I didn't mind grabbing something else. And what can I say, my little guy's spoiled. So first off, the charger. It looks like it's just like a balance, almost like a balance port to use the charger. And I think I even have boards and stuff like that that you can use. There's the mirrors. You actually have to put the mirrors on. But a couple of hexes, strap for the batteries. Anyways, guys, let's get this. Remove the radio. The radio is nothing special from what I see in the pictures. But again, you know, for an RTR, you know, and again, for a $250 vehicle, it does come with double A's. So that's kind of nice. So yeah, guys, this is like a full ready to run truck. You know what, guys, the radio actually doesn't feel all that bad. I know the batteries aren't in it right now, but the weight's pretty decent. You get some dual rate adjustment. You get your normal trims, reversing. It's got a little brake caliper in there. And actually, guys, this feels really good. It's a little bit, maybe a little heavy, the spring, but it still doesn't feel bad though. But I mean, again, it is an RTR radio, so yes, it does have obviously that cheap feel to it, but it'll work. It'll do what it needs to do. Anyways, guys, let's get on to the truck. It's kind of funny at first glance to see the size of it. Because, you know, it's funny when you watch the picture, like when you look at pictures and you watch the video of it, it, you know, you don't really see right off the bat, you know, that it's actually smaller, because they've done such a great job in the sense that, you know, with the grill, the headlights, the chrome bumpers, you got, you know, the door handles, and again, we've got the mirrors. I showed you guys those in the bag. The rear bumper, it has such a nice scale look to it that, you know, you wouldn't know right off the bat that this is a 1/12 scale truck. Guys, I went ahead and put the mirrors on just so I could kind of give you guys a good look of what it looks like when it's basically ready to go. Definitely looks super cool. I'm going to give you guys just an idea though right now, just to kind of show you a size difference. There is a stock, basically stock. That's a 1.9 inch rim. And it's just got a 1.9 Hyrex on it. So you can see the difference. So I don't even know, maybe like a 1.5, you know, combo type thing, like, you know, from RC 4-wheel drive or something like that, you could probably maybe put on there. I don't really know. I'm gonna do one more comparison, guys. There's, guys, the Sport with the tracks on it beside the truck, just so you can get kind of a better idea of just how little the guy is. You don't think, like when you think 1/12 scale, you're not necessarily thinking that it's going to be that much smaller, but it's a huge difference, guys. What I kind of think is sort of funny is that I don't ever think of like my 10 scales, like my, you know, obviously the Sport and even the 6x6 as being big vehicles compared to, you know, obviously the X-Max, the Vitka, things like that. But compared to this little guy, the Sport looks like it's just going to eat it. After you pull the 4 body clips, this is what you've got underneath. So I'm pretty sure, guys, that's a standard size servo, I think. Unfortunately, I just sold 3 servos yesterday, and I probably now kind of regret. One of them was the stock servo out of my tracks. Something I probably would have kept and put in this now if I had thought that I was doing this. But anyways, only thing that's kind of annoying, they don't give you like a plug on here. So this is for your headlights. It would have been nice, some kind of connector, JST plug, whatever, just so that, you know, you could remove it and, you know, just get rid of the body altogether when you want to work on it. Not a big deal. Obviously, I'll probably will put one on some type of connector. Not sure what it is. Just trying to get to show you guys down here the ESC. What I found funny, I don't know where it says it on here, but it has a 2 amp BEC on it. And the reason, guys, I find that funny is that the stock Traxxas XL5 HV is only a 1 amp BEC. So this thing would actually supply a little servo, or an upgraded servo, a little bit better. Out of the box, you get a brand new LiPo, 850 milliamp, 2S, has a Dean's and then a balance plug on it. The charger, like I was showing you guys earlier, does use the balance connector, but you could easily just, you know, plug that into a board and plug in a Dean's connector and just charge this battery from any charger. The shocks are probably the one thing, you know, that kind of, I guess, you know, sort of cheapens the truck. Just because, I mean, you've got metal rails, guys. You've got metal links down here. You know, you've got plastic in most places where you usually have plastic. So that's not a big deal. Plastic drive shafts and stuff like that. But again, guys, this is a 1/12 scale, so not really a big deal. I don't know if that's a full-size tray. No. But you can definitely get a bigger battery in there. So you don't always have to keep that little guy in there. They do give you an extra piece of Velcro as well. So again, I guess if you wanted to, you know, you can move your battery around and try it in a couple different places. If you wanted to bring it up to the front to bring the weight up, you could. And like I said, guys, earlier, I do have the aluminum shock upgrade kit coming. They're complete shocks. And like I said, that was the only thing when I was looking at this that I was like, oh man, I hate how they just, You know, if they probably even had done the shocks, you know, in all black or something, they wouldn't have stood out as much, just because, like I said, everything else right now in this truck looks pretty good. You know, there's nothing that's, you know, like, oh, that looks really bad or that looks really, really cheap type thing, especially on a truck of this price point, except for those shocks. I just, ugh, that just, to me, that's the only thing that kind of ruins it for me. But you know what? They put a decent ESC. I've got to look into, I know the ESC is water resistant. I don't know about the receiver. I'm going to say no. So maybe picking up, I did pick up a Traxxas receiver box, but that's going in my Super Rockray. So I may look into something to house this. And then at the same time change the servo to something water resistant. Just because, actually guys, I don't know why. Now that I think about it, the only really plan for this truck is to run it indoors. So I probably won't actually bother now that I think about it. Unless my little guy decides that, you know, maybe he wants to drive this outside. He might, you know, the fact that he's little, the truck is little, maybe he'll want to drive it a little bit more. But that's, like I said, guys, at this point right now, that's not the plan. The plan is that he drives his TRX4. I did get him tires so that we can take the tracks off when we actually hit the trails. And just because the TRX4 tracks is pretty slow with the tracks. So I think he might, you know, eventually kind of get bored of that. Like I said, guys, metal links. It's got this big honkin' servo saver. I don't know what I think about that. I'm almost tempted to remove it and just put a normal horn on. Just because, I don't know, I mean, having something like that on a little, you know, crawler type truck, unless it's just a really cheap servo and the horn's there to kind of keep it alive, maybe that's the case. But again, if that is the case, guys, we'll replace the servo. I don't want to jeopardize the, you know, the fun and the drivability of the truck just to save a servo. It is funny though, these tires are so teeny tiny. Anyways, guys, let's get the batteries in there and see how it looks with the lights on. This, guys, is what I was trying to show you earlier. So it's the ESC is 2 to 3S, 5 to 9 cell nickel metal hydride. I highly doubt anybody will be using that in it. But like I said, it's got a 6 volt, 2 amp BEC, which is really decent for a truck of this size. It's got 2 modes, crawler and normal. So I'm assuming in normal, it probably won't have drag brake. And I don't know yet, guys, what it has, if it's straight into reverse right now when you kind of hit the brake, or if it actually gives you a brake first. But yeah, I mean, a good little ESC, you know, obviously no, not a whole bunch of wicked functions, but again, I mean, it's an RTR, and at this price point, I think that's pretty decent. All right, I know some of you guys are going to find this funny, but I don't have much in my room right now that I can use kind of for obstacles, but I just wanted to see what the truck will do, because the suspension does feel really good. So I'm just curious. I did do a little bit of adjusting. I'll see if I can show you guys that. I cut the throttle down by half, just because I found it was kind of quick, just for moving at all, like not even for technical. I found it had kind of too much, you know, sort of get up and go. I'll do this one-handed. Yeah. I don't know if that looks as good as it does on camera, but if I can move you guys back a bit. You can just see there that far back tire is just a teensy wee bit off the ground. But there, at that point, guys, it's back up. And that the one front tire is a couple inches off the ground. But like I said, guys, it's pretty smooth. For, again, like a cheap, you know, ESC. Definitely the steering servo is, wait, I'll fix this for you guys. The steering servo is definitely pretty weak. It's the only thing I kind of find that I don't like, but I mean, hey, that's an easy fix. Hopefully. I can find something better. Okay, guys, the only thing I've noticed so far, that if I could change, or at some point I will change, maybe a slightly bigger tire will fix, is because the tire is so teeny weeny, you can see here, so you get your steering linkage, how close they are. So I was kind of playing with a couple of different boxes just off of camera just to try to climb, and I did notice like a few times when I went in, you know, as the tire kind of squishes a little bit because there's no foam in here. The truck isn't very heavy, so if anything, not having the foam probably helps, you know, if you're trying to, when you're trying to climb over rocks and stuff. But, you know, as the tire kind of compresses a little bit, you're actually almost hitting, and actually I think a few times I did hit the steering linkage. So that's the only thing I kind of, where, you know, maybe, I think actually even right there, yeah, if you guys, hopefully it's coming across on camera, but you can actually kind of hear the noise. That's it hitting. That would be my only kind of like thing I'd like to fix, just because when you're, you know, kind of you're pulling up to something, when you're doing like an approach angle or something like that, I can see that, you know, getting to be a pain. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, even though I know the tracks are on here right now, you know, your steering linkage is here. You've got everything hanging forward. That's the whole point. So even if we grab this tire, sorry guys, I'm carrying the tripod right now. Even if you put the tire on, guys, you can see what I mean. You know, your tire would roughly sit about there, and you can see how far the steering linkage is back. So it doesn't mess when you're trying to, you know, pull up to something. But again, I'm not going to, you know, super fault the truck for that. You know, small truck. It's got small wheels and tires. So I'm going to definitely play with that. I'm going to see you guys what's out there. I haven't really looked yet. But I definitely want to, you know, maybe go to a slightly bigger tire, just something that I could get a little bit further out, ahead of the steering linkage right there. All right, so I know a few of you guys right now probably got a good laugh out of that. I know it's not the best way to show, you know, a crawler's capability by driving around a couple obstacles on a table, but guys, this is going to be mainly an indoor truck. We have our outdoor trucks, so, you know, it'll be driven over obstacles that we find in the house. I can imagine my son's probably going to build things out of Legos, who knows. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of a bit of a, you know, just so you guys can see how the truck moves. I gotta admit, the suspension is pretty impressive. The articulation is pretty impressive for such a little truck. But what I wanted to do now, guys, was just sort of show you the speed of the truck. I do actually find the truck a little bit too quick. I did dial the throttle down. It's down to about 3.5 right now. So these are like kind of like full, you know, full triggers, full throttle. There is no brake. So like I was showing you guys earlier, the ESC does have, you know, a crawler mode and a normal mode. It is in crawler mode right now, so that's why we don't have any brake. That's why it's immediately going into reverse, and also probably why it has that, you know, 100% drag brake feel to it right now. What I do want to do though is I'm going to crank up the throttle, the dual rates on the throttle, so you can see, dang it, you can see how it's pretty much not fun to drive at all. It's just way too quick. It'd be way too twitchy. You know, kind of dialing it down definitely makes the truck a lot more fun. Yeah, it's when I was first getting it going, I hadn't touched any of the trims or any of the adjustments, and the first time I tested the trigger, I was like, ugh! Like this isn't right. Luckily enough, it's got the dual rates. I was able to dial it down and kind of get the truck a little bit more controllable. But so far, guys, you know what? I think this is going to be a fun little truck. It is going to mainly be an indoor truck, if not 100%. So I think it'll be fun to kind of build, you know, obstacles and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of other trucks. I know, you know, between Axial's got a few. There was a couple of, I can't remember the company right now. Panda, I think it is. I don't know. A-Main sells them. They've got a really nice looking Jeep and a few other ones. And I have thought of those, but I've had bad luck, guys, with a lot of those minis. Just because I never really liked the steering feel of them. I never liked the suspension feel of them. And I don't want this to be something that I'm having to spend a ton of money on. You know, yeah, I bought the aluminum shocks. You know, again, guys, that was a bit of an appearance thing for me. The servo upgrade, I'll probably do a bigger servo in, let's say, the 6x6 at some point. I was planning on doing that anyways. So I'll have the servo out of the 6x6 to drop into this. So it's not really like I'm going to be spending money on it. But anyways, guys, we'll take the body off one more time. We'll take another look, and we'll wrap this up. All right, guys, there you have it. I hope you guys liked this video. I know this is a little bit different than I usually buy. But again, you know, I did kind of want something small for inside the house. And I was just, again, guys, so excited to, you know, run the tracks that I didn't know what I was going to do. And then when I saw this thing and I started, you know, I watched a few videos, I thought, hey, this thing, you know, should be fun. It comes with a decent ESC. The radio's fine. It's fully RTR with, you know, both sets of batteries and a charger. Steering servo, I'm just even curious, guys, if I remove that servo saver, how it'll be. And I mean, honestly, if it ends up, you know, if it does cause the servo issues and it burns it out, oh well, we can replace it. It's not like that's an expensive servo. And I mean, again, it's not like it has to be something, you know, hardcore. So it's not like money will really be an issue with replacing the servo in this thing. Body is really good. I like that they did such a good job of the body. I always find, you know, even though I know we all replace bodies and stuff, I still like just to kind of get something that looks good right out of the box. This really does. Those are stickers, so if you wanted to remove them, you can. But again, I think they look good. I think that suits the truck's look. The truck also comes in black. I preferred the blue. Hopefully, guys, that comes across. You can see kind of the pearl in it. It's got a little bit of like metallic sort of in it. I think the lights are wicked. The fact that they're, you know, the fact that you've got the white and the amber is just even that much cooler. You know, just something you don't have to worry about later on. It would have been nice to have the backup lights, especially since they put the little pods there. But, you know, oh well, you can't have everything. Anyways, guys, there you have it. The Associated CR12, the 112 crawler trail truck. You know, guys, for the price, guys, I don't think you can go wrong. It seems like it's going to be a decent truck. I like the way it looks right out of the box. The blue looks really good. There's also a black. This here is a sticker, so if you did want to remove it, you could. I kind of like that look, so I don't think I'll be taking it off anytime soon. But yeah, guys, there's not going to be really much footage of this thing coming up for the next while because it's going to go back in the box and have to wait till Christmas. But like always, guys, I'm going to take it outside, take a few pics, and thanks for watching. In other news, the Arma Creighton 8S came out this week. I don't know what I think of that. I was kind of a little bit disappointed. I was kind of hoping for a monster truck. But, oh well. That's probably another video. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great night.